Well, yowza. 5 minutes past the hour. Woo, we made it through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday is finally here. It's beginning of the weekend, baby. And for you moms and dads that live in certain areas of the United States of America, I know school is back in session. Y'all got big smiles on y'all faces because the kiddos are out the household from eating you out of everything. Everything? Everything. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told / JD Live. It is the 8th day of August. In other words, it is 8/8/2025. Yours truly in the building. But I'm never by myself. Never, never, never. We're going to kick this off and kick it off the right way because the Queen is back. Her Majesty is back. I can't sing, y'all. Bless me and bless you too. The Queen is back. God bless the truth. That's why I had to sneeze. The Queen is back, y'all. The Queen of pimping positivity. She is back. I want to do it like old boy on Coming to America. She's your queen, but I can't sing. So all I'm gonna do is y'all put your hands together for my girl Alethea Crimmins, who is in the building. Hey, good morning, Alethea. How you doing?
Good morning. I am here. So
Guess who's Bizak?
Whew.
Boy, you out there living your best life. I thought you were about to rename Florida.
Oh no, but I'm glad to be home though. I'm that there ain't nothing like sleeping in your own bed. Just
Man, they said it on the Wiz. They said it in the Wizard of Oz. Flick your heels, cause there ain't no place like home. Place like home.
no.
So yesterday it was fellas first. Today it's all about the women. Alethea in the building, but she ain't in the building by herself. Look who just showed up to the scene. Who is the life strategist for the celebrities, the therapist, and the art therapist, the author. She do all that good stuff. It is my girl, Sister Jackson's in the building. Good morning, Sister Jax. How you doing?
What up? What up? You might have to call me Roscoe, y'all, because my nose be like.
Well, I started the show off with a sneeze. I was like, I chew because I was talking. God bless the truth.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yes. I'm well. I'm well. I'm invigorated, excited, emotions all over the place. My baby is going to college on next week, early next week, and so it's just an exciting moment. My son is preparing to go away to school as well, so it is super exciting, and just so blessed. Just so blessed.
Headed to Atlanta. She headed to
Yes.
Atlanta. She will be at Spelman and be exact. I think when did y'all go down on the 18th?
No, we
18th.
go down on Monday actually.
So you go down on Monday. I'll be down. Tell tell my niece,
That's right.
tell my god niece that her
Yep.
god uncle will be in town, and I'll be in town that Thursday. But Friday, while everybody else is playing golf, because I ain't playing no golf out in Atlanta. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Look, if they need a caddy, she's a golf caddy. So
I
look.
was just thinking about that. I said I might need to go play golf and have her to introduce her to some good alpha men and some good men, period, that are down there in the Atlanta area because of the guy I'm rolling with, my good friend Ty Sterling, that we've been doing this thing for umpteen years with the Southern University Jaguar football team and the coaches show. We will be in Atlanta, Georgia for the SWAC MEAC Challenge as the Southern University Jaguars take on the North Carolina Central Eagles. And it is the first game of the collegiate season, and it is the kickoff. So
Nice.
speaking about that, like I said, we got the ladies in the building, but we do have our esteemed hashtag Truth Be Told alumnus, community conversation alumnus. He has been a joy this week. We have had great conversations, man. Y'all put your hands together. Y'all know him from the open lines, online. And I just made up some stuff right there. Wasn't that beautiful? 1075 WBLS in New York City. And keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton is my good friend, Brother Fatigue. Brother Fatigue, good morning, my brother. How you doing?
I can't look at Jax because she gonna bust me. She gonna
Oh
bust
God.
me. She gonna
Fatine.
What he done did this time? Y'all was doing
Some
something.
things don't change. Patine Ray, act up.
Never.
What now, brother Patine?
You know, go on and spill the beans because that's what you want to do.
I
There.
ain't spilling no beans. I done spilled the coffee, the tea. No, no. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Great
Good
day.
morning.
Ladies, good to see the ladies. First, good morning, Joe. Good morning, ladies. Alethea
Good
and
morning.
Sister Jax. Congratulations. I saw your post. You said my mini me, and you know, and we go back so many years, and just to get to certain other milestones in your life, you know, and especially when we see these milestones with our children, it brings a certain type of joy to us that, you know, it radiates from inside. And I know it brings a special warmness to your heart, tear to your eye, see your mini me, your baby girl, you know, but that's your oldest child,
Yes.
making her next step and going to the school that she wanted to go to.
Yes.
Yes,
You're-
this is a
you're
school
right,
that she
Patine.
wanted to go to. We talked
Yep.
about this when I had the president of Spelman on Open Line. And you talked about, you know, that this is a school that she wanted to go to. So it's a great milestone, you know, and sometimes when we say parents live their lives with their children, you're not living your lives through your daughter. You're living your life with your daughter and your son.
Yes.
But this
amen.
is a moment, capture this moment, make sure you create the mementos that you can look back at this, another milestone of many milestones that your daughter and your son are going to create. But congratulations to Olivia.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you so much, Patine. And you know what? A lot of people, you know, ask like, oh my God, what are you going to do with yourself, you know, once the kids are gone or once you're gone? But I think they kind of missed the caveat that when you work so hard with them their entire life, of course you love your kids, you're going to miss your kids. It's going to be moments of trepidation, moments where you might, you know, feel a little sad for a second, but you have so much joy. And it's like when God is answering your prayers, how dare you be, you know, angry or sad or bitter or frustrated in that moment, because that's an answered prayer. So yes, I'll miss my baby, but you know what? I set her up for greatness. The Most High helped me to set her up for greatness, and may He carry her along her journey, and may she come back a whole totally different woman than what I initially created. May she come back even greater. So I'm super excited.
So let me introduce the brother, Dapper Dan himself down in MIAO, down in Miami, Florida. My good friend, the scholar himself, Antonio Cope, better known as Brother Bowtie. Brother Bowtie, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, ladies. Everybody looking younger than yesterday.
Oh, way,
You know what?
way to
Speaking of
spread the butter,
yesterday,
baby. Way to spread the butter. And we
Speaking
didn't
of-
see the ladies yesterday, but he's spreading the butter. Good morning, brother.
Brother Bowties, I was talking about you yesterday when I was at a new student orientation with my son. I've been meaning to ask you if you knew this brother, but I just didn't get around to it. So I asked him if he knew you. Do you know Bob Brown
Bob Brown.
from Fort Lauderdale? He said you're friends with his brother. His brother is a judge or whatever, but he says you know his brother. But we'll talk about it offline.
Bob Brown. If his brother a Mason, then for sure I know him. I know
That
about
part.
4 judges, but
Yep. Yeah, because he
Yeah.
said, I remember that name. He said, I think that's my brother. That's my brother's friend. So Bob
Yeah.
Brown, he used to play in the NFL. He's an attorney. He's an amazing guy. His son and my kids grew up together, and they are actually going away to school together as well. So
Got
yeah.
you.
What up, y'all? What's going on today?
So it is Freedom and Fun Friday. It's 13 minutes after the hour. You know, I kind of woke up this morning really with not a lot to talk about, just attitude of gratitude that we made it through the week. You know,
Yes.
it's always good to wake up in the morning and you know, football is back. Last night I got to see some of the Ravens and the Colts, and like I said, I'm preparing myself because I have to keep remembering on the 21st of this month I'm back on the road again. You know, every year I do the road show. I'm with the Southern University Jaguars. And not only am I doing that, I work with student athletes. I work with them on homing their interview skills, on how to deal with the media, because in these days and times with NIL and everything else, folks slap a microphone in front of your face real quick. So I really just wanted to say, you know, today it's going to be a real Freedom and Fun Friday. Whatever y'all want to talk about, whatever rabbit hole y'all want to jump down, let's jump down it and close this week out great. Good morning to everybody. You know, grand risings to those who are, we are broadcasting on 3 platforms. We are on Facebook Live. Instagram and on YouTube. And my God, all the folks on Instagram, to my grammars, man, y'all out there. I see about 7 people on Instagram that just up in the building. So thank y'all for being in there. For those on Facebook, you know, on Instagram, it's a little different. You can't just watch us on Instagram. You got to click in. You know, but those who are watching on Facebook, those who are clicked in on Facebook, thank you for clicking in. Those on YouTube, I see y'all out there. Listen to my tubers. Hey, good morning to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday. Of course, I do want to put out there in the atmosphere because we do need to pay attention. And this is a show that wants to keep you conscious and woke to the point that you got to pay attention. Listen, y'all, the consequences of this big, beautiful bill and these tariffs will probably not be fully felt until close to around Christmas. When you start making purchases at Christmas time and next year, I promise you, you're going to have a little pinch in your pocket. And I'm still trying to figure out, man, wasn't groceries supposed to be cheaper? Wasn't gas supposed to be cheaper? Wasn't items supposed to be cheaper? But seems to be people can say one thing to get in and not keep their promise. And some folks don't care about that because they're more concerned about
greasing their
supposedly
pockets.
morals and things of that nature. You know, who going to whose bathroom and all that stuff, which, don't get me wrong, those are very important topics. But also it should be important that a person who says a thing does what they say. Your word means a great deal to this man here. That's all I got to say about that. So floor is
Well,
open.
you know what, Joe? They said that the tariffs are really supposed to, start to kick in this week, and by the time Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate, whatever biblical high holy days and stuff you celebrate and buy gifts for, there will be such a surge because the toys and stuff like that for all these holidays are going to go up exponentially. So I mean, even they talk about the wine and where it's going to come from and all that kind of stuff and the prices. But what I was going to say, Joe, about the BBL stink, that just came across my mind.
Ooh.
The BBL
Hold
stink.
on, before you do, let me introduce one more. We in here 6 deep. Give it up for Lamar Burton, our Lamar Burton. You know him. He's the man that tells you all the time that reading is fundamental. Sean P and the Sean P experience in the building. Sean P,
Come
what's
on,
happening?
man. You know I had to come and complete the Brady Bunch screen. I had to bring the screen to make a full Brady Bunch, man. But I wanted to hop in. I came in on the tail end of Jack's talking about being an empty nester, right? And my daughter just graduated, and she's going to Southern University. Joe should be at Southern University.
The Jags.
And you,
Go Jags.
but to Jack's point, to me, I spent all of this time parenting all 3 of my children, getting them successfully across the stage. They're successfully into this adult world. I'm still a very, very young man, in my opinion. I'm still young.
Yeah,
it's time for me to go and hit the friendly skies and get the wheels up and put my feet up. It's time for this back half of life and enjoy myself, man.
So I want to say this to y'all before we get into whatever we want to get into, and this is from a person who's been there, done that. As you know, my oldest is 38. My oldest is getting ready to retire from the military. He's actually making his mind up. He, like Sean, and I have to applaud him and Sean. They are both Navy men. We every year, me, Sean, and him, along with a few other of my friends, we are always going at it. Me and Sean, Sean, me and you gonna have to make a friendly wager this year too. Either I'm gonna have to wear a Navy shirt or you gonna have to wear an Army shirt or something. But let me say this to you, Jax, and to Sean, because I've been there. My oldest is 38. I'm very blessed. He graduated from my alma mater. We're both Maryland Terrapins. My next son graduated from the Southern University. And then I have 2 daughters. One graduated from LSU, another one graduated from Louisiana Tech. And my youngest child, Kyle Malik, he will be graduating high school this year. And he's trying to make up his mind. Is he going to LSU? Is he going to Tech? Is he going to the Naval Academy? Is he going to West Point? And there's other places he's got on his mind. You ain't done with them until they walk across that college stage. Y'all think y'all empty nesters. Y'all ain't empty nesters.
That's right.
Promise you. I'm just telling you right now. You ain't finished with them and then you might not be finished with them a
You
year
ain't
after
never
that.
finished. You ain't never finished with them.
Right. And you really ain't never
finished
finished.
with
But hold it. Watch this. Maybe about a year, 2 years after they graduate college, they kind of free. Because until then, I'm telling you, it's going to be kind of like they not here in the house, but they still here in the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Joe. You
Go
know,
ahead,
my baby is a Navy man as well, and I have to be honest though. Man, I don't want them to leave home. Man, my baby was gone for like those 9 months of basic training. I would walk around this house. I was scrubbing the walls with a toothbrush.
Well, my situation was a little different due to the fact that my wife had sickle cell disease, and that for my daughters, for them to have their space and to grow and being a father who was a person who, both of us as parents was a disciplinarian type of parents. But, my wife, as being a female, was more, she could empathize with the girls more than I as a man. I said that the girls did not have to leave home, but they still had to follow certain rules about doing certain things in the house, boyfriends and stuff like that. I'm not talking about coming to the house and stuff like that, but there's a certain type of respect. But there's a time where they didn't leave home. Now, if my wife didn't have that, now my late wife didn't have that illness, then I would encourage them. I wouldn't have pushed them, but I encouraged them because of what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do it. I would have done that, but it was a little different, something that I didn't know until I got to cross that road at that particular time.
Let me say this to Brother Bowtie, and Brother Bowtie, because you've never been in the military, and
neither have I.
And nor have you, and nor have the ladies. But I can say this, Sean and I can say this. Like with my oldest son, I literally sent my oldest son to the Navy. My oldest son had two choices. He wanted to go to the Army, and because he always dreamed of being in the Army the same time his dad was in the Army, and that could have had happened. But I just didn't want my son to see. Now this is crazy. I didn't want my son to see no type of combat. So I tried to push my son toward the Air Force or toward the Navy. Little did I know, because I was thinking one way, your children will set their own path, regardless of how much you pour into them. Because my son is an elite naval officer in an elite naval combat unit, and he's in Jordan right now. He's literally in Jordan. So I know your feeling. I know the first time that I got the call that my son got wounded in combat, chills went down my spine. And it put me in a place where I knew what I put my parents through. Because what folks don't know, because I don't talk about it a lot, is in my 28 years of being in the military, I was wounded 4 times. And that puts a tremendous amount of stress on those who love you. Because they don't know, are you going to make it? Are you going to come out the same? It's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes people don't know. And I humbly honor those who put their bodies, their minds, and their self, along with their family, up for service. Because when you serve, you ain't serving by yourself. It's you and your family. Like you said, there's many a nice bow tie. You were nervous. What's going on with my child? And every time you turn on the TV and you saw, no matter who the president was, I don't care if it was Democrat, Republican, whoever, and they talking about, we might bum rush this country and go in, you scared they're going to send your child and you might never see your child again. Go ahead, Sean.
And you know what else too, Joe, put it in perspective for the audience, especially for you, Joe, being older than me. They got to realize, when I was in the military 25 years ago, there wasn't no smartphones and FaceTime and Skype.
No.
So you contacted your family every once in a while. I'm on a 6-month deployment across the world. You got to go and get a phone call that might cost $20-something. It might just last 7 minutes. And it sounds all choppy and it's all delayed. And but that's your only way to contact for months at a time. Put that in perspective,
This is crazy. Those who know, who were in the military, because I was in the military in the 80s, in the late 80s. That's when I first got in the military. We didn't even have that. We had, when you were stateside, you could use the payphone. The payphone was big. Everybody made sure they had a lot of quarters. But when you got deployed somewhere else, you better been a good writer. And you and whoever was over the mail room, y'all were good friends, because you were always doing this number. Hey man, Get email in, bro. Get email in. And you know, that's just how it was. So yeah, you know, hey, but guess what?
So
That
Joe,
Well, he's my son. I guess you could say he's retired, but he didn't even last a year in the Navy. And trust me, I was on panic mode all last year. So he had 2 fractures in his knee, and he
ooh,
torn
so he
4
got a
ligaments
medical.
in his
He got a medical then. Yeah.
So yeah, he
Glad
didn't
he's
come
okay
back how
though.
I sent him.
Oh,
So
I'm
now we
and you
glad
know,
fighting
that
that case. He
and that's the
trying to get
scary
his
part.
disability.
Also, as a parent, that's kind of the scary part. Like my daughter and I were watching, I think it was Dateline or something last week, and the episode that came on just so happened to be a young college girl went away to college, and she ended up having a boyfriend there, and he literally killed her and beat her to death in her dorm room.
Mm.
And and it makes you think like, you know, and I already know I'm sending my daughter away. I don't know if she's gonna come back home. I pray that she is. I pray that she's gonna come back better than before, but we don't know what could happen. She's in the streets of ATL, and you know, I teach her certain things, but she's gonna try to forge her own path. So I
Mhm.
always say I invest my heart and soul in my kids, but God allowed me to set them up for greatness. If they decide they want to be hoes and crackheads and everything else, they can't say mommy ain't investing in them, because mommy
But
did everything she
but
possibly could,
but you
and
laid
the
the
rest is up to them.
but you laid excuse me, you laid the foundation, and that's the best you can do. And
Yeah.
that's why I always tell you to have an open. I can't tell you how to parent, but you if you don't have that open type of conversation, and like I said, I was a little tougher and I didn't understand. I've said on here before how Hanifa, my late wife, introduced condoms to my daughter's 5th and 3rd grade. She was like, the street's not telling them. And I've always said that you need to be more transparent with your children, because if you can't be their best friend, then somebody else will be their best friend and they will stray. But when you lay that foundation and they trust you and they know that you have been truthful to them, and
Yeah.
you also bring them up, you're the parent, and you don't give them always their way. But as you gave your daughter more and more. There's things you question, then you came back. But when you give them some room to grow as latitude, you don't wait to 18 to say, now just run. No, you start doing certain things at certain benchmarks. And then 12 years old for your child and 12 years old for my child may be totally different because of their
Absolutely.
experiences and their maturity. So we
Absolutely.
got to understand that they
And
are
your
human beings
geographical
that need
area.
to grow. You
And
understand?
the
So that's
geographical area.
well, I mean, the
And,
environment, everything comes into play.
I want to
Everything
go
comes
to
into play.
Alethea because she is our resident educator. Alethea is an educator, has been in the school system teaching for years. And, that's another fun fact about Alethea, and Alethea, I like to applaud her for this. We need more educators like Alethea, because I know personally, because I know people who personally know Alethea that didn't know that me and Alethea knew each other, and they would always compliment about how she was so caring for the children.
Aw.
Guess what? It is big when your child leaves your safe environment. Because I put this out there, y'all got to pay attention. Most of us at a bare minimum work 8 hours a day. Most of us at a bare minimum sleep for 6 hours a day. That's 14 hours. Those other 10 hours need to be drama free and without a whole bunch of malarkey. And think
Amen.
about, if you're working 8 hours, you're sleeping 6 hours, how much time are you really spending with your children? And then you have a surrogate, because all these teachers aren't wanting what's best for your kids. Some of these teachers, teaching's just a paycheck. Alethea, talk to me.
That is true. Like you do have to love what you do in order to teach, because as everybody knows, like, we don't make a whole lot of money. So if you don't do it because you love it, it definitely does show. As far as children leaving the home, I am battling with this right now, because my youngest son, my baby, he is preparing himself to move for work. He wants to provide a better life for himself. So he said that he's going to move to Ohio, and that's my baby. So I don't really know how to feel about it. So I'm just like, I know that he's ready, but it's just still because of the world that we live in now, and it's like, I'm not there. So it's like I don't I don't know what's gonna
understand.
happen
Yeah.
because I'm and what if something happened and like I'm not able to get to you? Like what if these friends is not who they say they are?
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen? It's just a whole lot of what ifs, but I just have to know that God is going to take
Mm.
care of my
That's-
son.
Come on, Sean. Come on.
I want to say at one point, I'm sure all of us on this panel, we left the nest ourselves.
Mm.
And guess what? I want to say this too for anybody watching this. It's always okay to come back. Guess what?
Mhm.
I left and
Oh,
came back
yes.
2-3 times. Because like Brother Patine said, if the foundation is there and that safety net is there, I have that much boldness to go live way over here. It don't work out, guess
Yeah.
what? I'll come back to the crib. Re-up, get myself together, I'm gonna leave again.
Mhm.
People make
That part.
people always make it seem like it's a
Never.
one-time thing, like it's a one-time journey into outer space or some stuff. Like, no, go ahead and
Right.
plan it out.
Yeah, I
If it
think you
don't work
gotta.
out, come on,
I
come
think you
on back.
gotta. I think you gotta fit. It fits your narrative because when I wanted to leave the nest, my father got sick. So now I'm working at Billboard magazine, Midtown Manhattan. My father is a superintendent of 3 apartment buildings, 4 floors, and 5 stores.
Mm.
So now I got to do a full-time job. Then I got to do his job. Then my mother goes in the hospital. My father goes in another hospital. So I got to visit both parents. Luckily, I had a strong family supporting network where my aunt picked up a lot for my mother. My mother gets discharged on a Friday. My father passes on a Sunday.
Mm.
So, so after that, I'm running 2 jobs at the same time. My mom's goes with my aunt. Then eventually my mom's has a breakdown and then she recovers and then she needs to get back out away from her younger sister. So she gets her place. Now, this is where I started to understand, even as not a parent, what a parent goes through. So then I did leave the nest. One thing my parents did when I came back from college, they didn't baby me no more. They didn't say you got to be in the house this time. How can you when I come in when I want to in college? They gave me that respect and I gave them that respect. But when I went out to party, no matter if I was 25, 29, because my mom's passed around 30. I checked in when my mother lived a block away. I would come in 4, 5 o'clock. Hey, Ma, I'm just checking on you because I was concerned about her too. And I would see the relief on her say, oh, you in? You made it in? Okay. I understand the worryation that you will always have for your child. But one thing I will say to all of y'all, Joe, you have an older child, and Brother Bowtie, I don't know how old your son is.
21 and 20.
21 and 20.
Mm.
I'm telling you, the best thing is to give them that room to grow now. So if they're making some mistakes, they can come to you. You never know when we are going to take our last breath.
Amen.
Understand?
I say that. Sister Alethea, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
The one thing I've noticed and I've heard you all say, and I have done the same to the best of my ability, but it does not happen now in this world. You've raised your kids and taught your children how to be independent and how to make it on their own if they so choose to. Me working in the school system, I don't see that anymore. Like it's like these parents are not teaching their kids how
Nope.
to be independent and live on their own. Like they're teaching their kids to always be dependent on something
Mhm.
or someone, that they're not teaching their kids, okay, you have to do. When I would tell some people that I had my 4 and 5-year-olds doing chores, they would look at me crazy. Yeah, yes, I'm having my young children wash dishes and learn how to do things. I have my sons. I learn how to cook because I'm not gonna always be there.
That's
So they
right.
need to know how to do things on their own. But sometimes, like, we raise these children to now depend on a or look for a man. Like I've literally heard this come out of parents' mouth to tell their daughters to look for a man who will take care of you. Or I've heard women tell men, well, you know, you need to find you a like wife like your mama, so that she what are we doing to where we are making a dependent generation that don't know how to do anything for themselves? And
because we're not living life. We're not living life. We're living in the moment. And see, that's the problem.
Yes.
We're living in the moment. And when Joe was talking about environment, you got to look at how we move. Now, I don't hear as much, you know, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen about, you know, looking for a man, because that conversation has been 20 years out the window now. It's been going out the window. That girl, you don't need a man. You understand? You're hearing this, that you don't need this situation now. But we live for the moment because we are living in survival mode. We are not living. We are surviving. And I said, so what the Sister Shahrazad Ali said, we're like roaches. We're surviving and we're not living, because I said the other day, how can we be on the offense when we always on the damn defense? Because our back is always against the wall in this racist, systemic racist society. So when you don't live and plan for tomorrow and live in the moment, these are the factors that we have to succumb to, unfortunately. That's the problem. And I know everybody's not poor. I get that. Some people are making money, but as a collective, because we cannot be happy if we are successful, but our brother and sister's not successful, then how the hell can we be successful?
You know, and that's a great point. And on the parenting tip, because I think that's something I don't really want to get off of 36 minutes past the hour, because I never thought we had a children problem. I always thought that we had somewhat of a parenting
For
problem.
sure. That's
And,
it.
and let me say this. I can say this because on the 21st of this month, my oldest will be 38 years old. 38 years old. That's 2 years younger than Bowtie. That's older than Sean P. And not very far. And I don't know how
Joe. Hold on, Joe. Hold on, now, Joe. I'm 43.
Always putting people age out there.
I'm 43.
Oh, you for
Sean P
oh,
on
wait a
the
minute.
league.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Everybody,
minute. Wait, I thought you were the youngster Sean.
Nah,
You
it's
looking
me
good,
and
brother.
Elijah the babies on the show.
Okay. So Bowtie and
What's up,
Elijah are the
what's up?
babies. So watch this.
Yeah.
My son is 2 years younger than Bowtie, a few years younger than Sean P, older than Elijah. That's my oldest. And I really, right now, it is 1:30 where he's at. And I just sent him a message and said, hey, are you doing something? I really want him to come on here. Let me say this. No matter what you do, you're going to make mistakes as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my biggest issue with most folks. Do your best, but understand this: nobody's perfect. You're both going to grow. You're both going to learn. There's going to be times you look back and say, "Man, I shouldn't have did that." And look at Fatim's situation. Fatim brought up something that a lot of folks these days would say, "What?" But I highly respect that Fatim was there for his parents in the manner that he felt was worthy of giving them honor and respect. Fatim basically told you he was 30 years old and he was still living at home with mom. Now, you say that to some people today, they'd be like,
no, I wasn't 30. I wasn't, no.
How old were you? How old were you?
When my father passed, I was 22.
Okay.
I took over the apartment. My mother was with my aunt. So at that moment, I was living on my own. And then when my mother recovered from the breakdown, she got her own apartment. Then I left the super job and went over to my own apartment from the apartment that I grew up in. But I honestly became independent at 22.
Okay.
22.
So my thank you, Fatim, and correction, but still, and most of us in here, I know most of us men, I can truly tell y'all, I left home for college and the military. I was 17, turning 18. And I've been on my own ever since. Most men between the ages of 18 and 22, that's when they get out the house. They gone. And in these days and times, that, as Alethea said, That doesn't happen. You hear about young men in their 30s, some in their 40s, still living at home with mom and dad, or with one of the parents, or living at home, especially a lot of men. I know a lot of men that are in their 30s still living with mom. Alethea, go ahead, sis. Go ahead. Then we'll go to Sean. Go ahead.
And then I want to come back to your point about the parent problem, because I disagree. Somebody said they want to see me and Joe. Well, this is when I disagree with Joe, that
That's
we
fine.
only
We'll come back
got a parenting problem. We got both a parent and a kid problem. But I will circle back after Alethea and Sean.
Go ahead, Alethea.
We gonna take about five minutes in like honor of Elijah. He gonna be so proud of me at this at this moment. And if you are watching Elijah, be ready to be proud of me. Okay, 41 minutes past the hour, and we're gonna get into sports for 2 minutes. So I saw something on Facebook about Alvin Kamara, who passed up $75 million because he said that the Saints were loyal to him. The Saints believed in him. Los Angeles offered him money. Houston tried. He passed up $75 million because he said, and I quote, "The Saints believed in me. I will die a Saints legend because they believed in me, and I'm riding with them to the end." And he said, loyalty over luxury, legacy over labels. Let them talk. I know where my heart is. Would y'all
Hell of a man.
That's right.
Hell of a man. We need more men like that.
His mama taught him right.
That's
So
right.
how do y'all feel about this? Is $75 million.
You can't buy loyalty.
Alvin
No,
You
Kamara
can't buy what that man just said, what he just did, and how now when that O-line thinks about, because watch this, that O-line understands he could put that demand on the Saints to pay him that money, and he might get some of that money, but he is concerned for the greater good of the team. I ain't a Saints fan, but I am an Alvin Kamara fan because Alvin Kamara graduated from the University of Tennessee. He is a ball. And let me tell you this, Alvin, you my man. You my man. Be exact, when I'm down in New Orleans and I see him close to Bayou Classic time, I'm gonna hug him. I'm gonna tell him, bro, that's how you talk to folks. That man right there deserves a round of applause if you're a Saints fan or you're not, because that's how you do it.
That's right. And you know
I
what?
have- I have to
Peace
say,
is priceless. Peace is priceless. You can have $75 million and be miserable as hell. So if he's opting for
Money
peace
ain't
and
everything.
loyalty, that's everything.
I just
The
want to
money
say,
is
Alethea, you did a great job.
That's right.
Thank
sis.
you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see another
I
career
think,
path, girl.
yeah,
Nah, don't try to take my job when Elijah not here.
yeah.
Come on, brother Fatim.
Yeah,
Say what
I
you need to
think-
say, then we'll go to Sean.
Yeah, let me just say this, and then I want to get back to that other thing too. But to go with what Sister Alethea said, and you're right, Joe. A round of applause and kudos to him. But if he didn't do that, or if the next person did take that 75 million, don't look at that person as being a bad person either. And because a lot of times we stand on principle, but when we get to that fork in the road, and he had the option to go this direction. Remember, he's at that fork in the road. He looked at who he was and had to make the statement, this is who I am, and this is the decision I'm going to make. But the other person that comes to that same fork in the road and say, you know what? I'm not going to turn down that 75 million because I worked hard. My parents bust their butt, made me believe in God, did move forward. And now I've gotten to this place. I'm going to go with the best situation for me financially at the end of the day. So I kudos to this brother because he stands on principle. But the next brother that gets to that point, or sister that gets to that point, I don't want them to feel like, hey, I don't. No, I'm not saying we're saying that. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that everybody's situation is different. I give this brother kudos because we need more people that stand on principle. But again, it becomes a decision. And out of which decision you make, neither one is a bad decision.
Right. At the end of the day, I applaud him that he put it in the atmosphere and he made folks understand something. There's some things money can't buy. You can have all the money in the world, get a terrible disease that is uncurable. All your money in the world ain't gonna stop that disease. All the money. See, there's some things that you got to listen. I posted this yesterday, and I post my post, and I've timed them to post earlier. And I'm gonna say this, and it's funny that she said what she said, but I'm trying to go real quick where I can get this. Hold on, I gotta take this call. Let me y'all keep.
Let me just bring this back out. I want to go to everybody here, or since Joe got to take that call, about what Joe said about the parenting problem. That, it's on the parenting. And I know Sister Jax, because you amened it right away. And one of the things that we talked about, Sister Jax, in the past is about the power that young folks realize that they have. So that a lot of the old school parents didn't give a damn if a child will call 911, go to the school and say, my parents disciplined me because so-and-so. Because remember, outside now want to dictate how you parent. No parent should be abusive to their child. Let's draw that line first when we have this conversation. But kids realize that they had power that some parents had to back up, because some parents could not afford to go to jail. Because if they went to jail or arrested because they disciplined their child, but the system looks at it differently, they can't lose their job. And the domino effect is the child don't see the vision, because right at the moment, they're trying to protect their interests. So when Joe made that statement, I get it and I understand it. We do have a parenting problem because the parent is supposed to teach the child. But children grow up now and understand their power. The children are not the children of the 40s and the 50s. We can sit up here, well, my parents and not. That ain't that day. That ain't today. The foundation is there. The foundation of being a parent is there, but how things are operating. So I've said this to my opinion is, yes, Joe, you're correct. We have a parenting problem, but we also have a kid problem. We are not going to put this all on the parents, because some of these kids are assholes. And that's the bottom line. And you don't want to look at it. Some of your kids are damn the devil. And if you don't realize that and you support, you understand, you can love your child, but you can discipline your child. Because if you don't discipline your child today, guess what? The police or the outside is going to discipline, and they are not going to treat them with the love that you have.
And so trust me, and Brother Fatim, I'm gonna go to Jax. Jax, I'm gonna let you come in on this. Brother Fatim, what I'm saying is, and I don't disagree with one thing you said. And no, I don't really think that we are seeing this differently. My statement stays the same, because here's what I do know. Throughout history, no matter if it was way back in the day, and when I say way back in the day, that's the beginning of time, until the future and beyond, children have always been just that. Now, I give children a cutoff date. For me, children's cutoff dates is you a child until you become a teen. Once you become a teen, you're no longer a child. So don't think I'm putting everybody in the same category. When you become a teen, you're a teen. And there's a part in teen that I really believe you become a young adult. Teens and young adults don't fall into my children category. Unfortunately, a lot of people parent their teens and young adult like they are children, from my opinion. Now, once again, I will go to Jax, then I'll go to, let me go to Sean P, then I'll go to Jax. Sean, hurry up and say what you say, and then we'll go to Jax.
Well, this goes together, right? You had said something earlier about the age that a lot of young men tend to leave the house. I saw a Washington Post article last year talking about the children of this generation, like they're not leaving. They don't have that internal drive. They're not getting the driver's license. They ain't even trying to drive. Like they're just stuck on devices. They're stuck in the house. They ain't even trying to branch off and leave the nest. They ain't even trying. It's a whole epidemic right there that's happening right now with this generation right now. I just wanted to add that to the conversation.
And you know what, brother? Many times that comes from inadequacies within the parent. Many times the parents have not fulfilled what they should have fulfilled or wanted to fulfill, and have a lot of internal chaos and turmoil. So what they do is they'll hold on so tight to their kids, and they're afraid to let them go. So they paralyze their children's potential. So instead of allowing your child to soar and having faith in them, believing in them, setting them up properly, right? They scared to cut the ties. So now the kids keep on coming back 1,000 times. Like for me, I know when I left the house at 21 after college, I was gone. I ain't never been back home, you know? So everybody, you know, it's a blessing to be able to have that safety net for some kids, but some kids that even paralyzes them because nowadays they want to take advantage of it, you know? And it's okay to, you know, to love on your kid and provide and nurture for them, but you have some, you know, dads or, you know, even some moms. Like I had an art therapy student who wanted to get out and get a job. But his mom was like, because I get a check for you, and if you get a job, my check is gonna get cut off. So she's paralyzing this little
Yep.
boy. So what happens? He goes out to steal cars because he's like, damn it, I can't get a job. My mother won't let me work. I'm a teenager in high school. I want to work. So damn it, since I can't work, I'm gonna go get steal cars and boost and rob people gunpoint so that I can make some money. You know, so many
Yes.
times
So
it's the
and
parents.
so answer this,
Yes.
Jax, because and that's a great example and that's true. But let's
Mhm.
talk about the flip side. Because if we don't talk about the flip side, where these children, even though Joe said about the teen, and again, I'm not disagreeing with Joe. That's why I said I added it there. Well, I did disagree from the point it's just a parenting problem. I don't even wait till these kids are teens. Some of these kids are menace at 8 and 9, 10 years old.
Mhm.
They're not
Yeah.
teens. And I want you to speak to that because there's a lot of parents. Because see, I used to hear this a lot of time. When you see a bad child, you know, I've challenged all of, you know,
Mhm.
when we did this show before, I challenge y'all because a lot of times parents are doing their job and their child is a menace. And then we want to throw it back. Well, it's the parent, it's the parent, and it's the parent. But sometimes parents do everything that they can do. You understand what I'm saying? That they can do, but this child, there could be other issues. You ought to know there's social issues and other issues. But let's speak to the problem when there is a problematic child. Is there things and mechanisms out there to help them? Because if we just look at the parenting, then we don't help the child that do need the help because they are the problem. Let's talk about that.
Well, you know, Fatine, I think what happens sometimes is people think that, you know, oh, they're a great parent. They did everything they could do when the kid turned out jacked up, right? But sometimes when we give our kids too much, you know, that still could cause your kid to be jacked up. You know, when we don't say no, when we kind of let them have their way and get whatever they want, everybody on the
Oh,
outside will look at
yes.
them, oh, she's a good parent or he's a good parent. He provided, he did everything and gave them everything. Well, guess what? That can too become an issue. And yeah, you do have some little demon kids and some little, you know, badass kids. But for the most part, when you look at it, it's still something tied to that parent that sometimes we don't see that is some other dynamic is still going on. I
It
mean,
could be the
you know,
environment too. It could be the environment. You got to realize that in the 70s in New York City, we had the Tomahawks, we had the Black Spades, you had gangs. That
Yeah.
once you send your child out to school, I'm talking about a mother and father that had them factory jobs, doing what they can do. I'm not going to do this here. There are parents that do the job. And when you send your child out there and they get wrong with the wrong child, I have family members that got out in that street and got influenced by the gangs or bad influence. And then the parent tried to do what they could do. And that child called the cops. And the cops say, you can't put your hand on them. You can't talk this way to them. That's what I want to talk to. Because if we don't talk to that,
But
then
I
we're not
think-
helping the parents that are good parents to give
Otis.
them some kind of antidote to deal with this.
So we're
But-
gonna go to Brother Bowtie. Brother Bowtie, hold on. But here's what I have to say, and this is where I can only speak of my own experience, and I can speak about me as a child, and I can speak about my children. And I'm not saying this is what happens with everybody. With folks who know me or know my childhood, and once again knows my path to where I'm at today. I myself, you know, standing here as a 58-year-old man, no shame in my game. I'm 58 years old. You know, I was on June the 22nd, 1967, found wrapped in a newspaper in an old coat underneath a dilapidated house. So literally my early childhood from 0 to about 6 years old, I was still a ward of the state of Tennessee. In other words, I was in child services. I was in foster care. I was in before the adoption got finalized, I was a child of the system. So understand, a lot of us don't want to address the trauma attached to some children. And Brother Fatim, you're correct. A parent can do everything right, but still there's a lot of stuff and a lot of factors that even if you're a good parent, you have to sometimes sit there and say this. I highly respect, and I'm not going to mention no names, and I'm going to go straight to Brother Bowtie. Parents who say, man, I done did it all, but this child is off the chain.
Mhm.
Call a local judge, call, I done seen kids go through prisons, be walked through before they even got in trouble or they were getting in trouble and they tried to scare them straight. We all done seen scared straight.
Mhm.
Listen, sometimes for team, and this is not the norm, but this does happen sometimes. Sometimes no matter what you do, some people are just on a path of destruction and a
Mhm.
path of making, and guess what? To those parents, I weep because I know you're really there going, I did everything I could to try to
Yeah.
make this child right. And everything I do, they won't be right. And guess what? That just goes to show that no matter what you do, you can do everything right, the child can be wrong. You can do everything wrong, and the child can be right. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and it does not one size fit all.
Absolutely.
However,
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
And
however,
Yep.
the norm is normally, even if you're a halfway decent parent, if your child strays away, they will come back.
That's right. And you're
Brother
right, Joe.
Bowtie,
And you
then
know
Sister
what?
Jax.
Okay.
You
Go ahead, brother.
know, I got taken. Me and my siblings. I got 3 siblings. We got taken from my mom 4 times for child abuse.
Mm.
Man, our mom used to tear her ass up.
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I can read between the lines when I get done with my statement, but 2.5 of us was bad as hell. I ain't gonna lie. But she used to beat our ass, and we got taken probably like 3 times before I was 10 years old. Now at 12 years old, I was facing 40 years in prison. At 12 years old, me. I ain't gonna say what I did, but I was facing 40 years. And while I was locked up for 2 years, I got, man, them damn people in boot camp, they was beating my ass. But it still didn't compare to how mama beat my ass. And mama still showed up to court, did whatever. And my mama told the judge, I never forget what my mama told the judge. My mama told the judge, give him 10 years boot camp, Your Honor. And if you don't allow the police to arrest me, when he come home, I'm gonna give him something that he gonna stay out of trouble for the rest of his goddamn life.
Mm.
The judge said, okay, 10 years probation. Man, my mama picked me up. She beat my ass from outside of the juvenile all the way till I got home. Then when I got home, man, it was like it wasn't a sex room, but it looked like it was a beating room. She had a water hose, stitching cord, everything. However, though, I didn't get in trouble no more. No
Mm.
more, no more, no more. Nonetheless, but when you think back, I heard us discuss about parenting and children issue. I think it's more of a community issue, and I don't think that we're pushing our kids to be independent. I don't think we're pushing our kids to actually think about themselves. I don't think we're pushing our kids to even think about survival mode. I'm 40 years old, and I think Sean P. I'm grateful for you, Joe, you brother Fatim, everybody on the panel, Jax, because y'all generation. Y'all did y'all best, But I remember when I was in elementary school. I'm not talking about middle school, high school. That I had to climb a 20-foot rope without a pad under it.
That's right.
I remember going to fish. I remember picking my own fruits off the tree. I remember showing up to pee, and they said, "Hey, you gotta walk. You gotta run 5 laps." They ain't even asked me did I have a heart problem, did I have a blood problem, but
Yep.
these things we made society so soft and we cushion so things like that. So we can't push our kids to be independent because in their mind they be like, oh nah, I got this. Like if you tell a child, and I try to be a football coach. Hey young man, you want to play football? You gotta give me 20 push-ups. Oh, my chest hurt. Don't my
Yeah.
chest hurt, mommy? And then his mom be on the sideline. Yeah, my baby chest hurt. Oh, then he can't play football. Well, he know how his chest is. Nah, because my job as a coach, and those males who know it, and I don't know if any ladies ever been a coach, but your job is to push them to their
That's
greatness.
right.
So if they start off doing only 15 push-ups in the next 2 or 3 weeks, the goal is for them to do 50 or 70 push-ups.
That's right.
But I believe society overall, we have
Mm.
become so soft. Whether it's us parenting or whether it's the kids, we just accept any and everything. And I'm saying this one last statement. I got one nephew. And my nickname for him is Satan. And he's my only nephew. I got 8 nieces. And I don't want to call him Satan, but his mom don't like nobody disciplining him.
Mm.
Mm.
So, but she like him to have his way. Now he's grown now, but when he was little, I said, if I can't beat you, you can't come to my house. If I can't
That's
discipline
right.
you, you can't come to my
That's
house.
right.
Now he spiral out of control, but as he got older, every now and then he say, "Hey, Unc, you want a cigar? I'm about to pull up on you just to have a conversation with you." Now he wants my guidance. He's like, "Man, your two sons turned out great." Like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what my mama was on, but and I said my sons barely got beatings.
Mhm.
Come on, tell the truth.
That's right.
Shame the devil.
And you know, it's funny, that's so powerful. It my nephew was 33 and he was at our house recently and he was talking to my kids and he said, "You know what? Whatever your mom has been teaching you or telling you, listen." Because she was trying to set me up when I was a kid too, but I would go back home to my mom and complain that Aunt Jackie was teaching me how to making me read and trying to make me read big words and expand his vocabulary and outside running laps and pushing himself. Because in my spirit, I've always been a coach. So I just so happen to be like a life coach and therapist now. So my job is to push you, not to just please you and let you, take it easy. No, I got to be hard. I got to push you, but I still come back with love because everybody knows Jax is all about the love. And so, but he was telling my kids, look, your mom is right. No, like listen to her because she will set you up on point. And I wish I would have listened to, Aunt Jackie as well, but I didn't listen like I should have. So we can't be afraid. Like, and guess what? Our children are not gonna like everything we say or everything we do. They're not gonna like being pushed. But guess what? That doesn't mean you stop pushing. You have to find a balance and a rhythm with it. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, Brother Cope, because I think sometimes we throw things away so easily. So you were, bad as hell, like you said when you was little. But guess what? Even those little bad, satanic, little demon kids or whatever can still grow up to be positive, meaningful adults to impact and change the world. So we can't throw them away just because they act up. I used to teach parent education, right? And all these parents had lost their kids to DIFAS, which is, Child Protective Services. So this one young lady, she had about 20 kids, right? 20 kids, lost custody of every single one. So when she was in my care and under my therapeutic, realm, two of the kids, two little boys, they were about maybe 7 and 8 years old. They were with a foster parent, an older lady. So one day they were like, I don't want to be here. They crushed up glass and put it in her food to try to kill her that way. They realized it didn't work. So then they set the house on fire. And these are little kids, 7 and 8 years old. I don't know where these kids are now or what happened to them, but guess what? That still falls back on, in part, the parenting, how these kids were raised. This mom is having babies with, and they all got different daddies, So that's a problem. So we have to just be honest about things and try to move forward as a people. And like you said, it takes a village, it takes the community. So guess what? If mom can't get through, we need somebody else to step in to try to get through to these kids, but in a
Yeah.
loving manner, not in a pedophile way. Because guess
And
what?
Jax, it's
Yeah.
kind of sad. It's kind of sad that you just made a statement. You
Mhm.
said if mom can't get through because there are
Uh-huh.
single fathers, but it's
Yeah.
like why should mom have to get through? There should always be a parental coalition between a mother and a father,
Yeah.
regardless of how you feel.
Absolutely.
And too many times, and the reason why you said mom, because most of the time it be the single mom. Men think about their peace more than they think about chaos. But I
Hmm.
think
Yeah.
sometimes our women need to work on stop being so selfish. Like regardless, hey,
Mm.
look, our
Yes.
relationship it didn't work out with you and Joe, but y'all still got 20 kids together. So
Yeah.
hey, I need you to send 14 boxes of noodles this month to feed these kids, and I need you to talk to
I need you to
James,
be a
Earl,
part of their life. I need
Yes.
you
yeah,
not just to be their sperm donor.
yeah,
That's where us
yeah.
men got to get past. Just
Mhm.
because me and mama got to get past that too.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
because you and daddy fell
That's
out
right.
doesn't mean you were the egg incubator and he wasn't the sperm donor. That's my new thing.
I
If we
seen a
could,
post, and I'm sure you guys seen it on social media. Not late because it's going around late. They said,
Mhm.
"Oh, a child need to see the correct man loving their mom." I'm like,
Mhm.
so my reply to everybody's like, "Yeah, like the dad." Or I seen in a reverse, they say the dad need to see a child need to see a right woman loving their dad, like the baby mama, like.
yeah.
Mhm.
And my baby mother, she's married, she's happy in a relationship. But trust me, knowing what I know now, things that I learned from, Man, I would have never left my baby mom because I ain't need
Aw.
no problem that I went through with her that I ain't running to another woman. I
That's
discovered
right.
that every woman
Hey,
gonna be
one,
jealous and have insecurities.
once
That's
again,
another topic. I ain't got an hour today, but another hour,
brother.
but it's a good
Brother,
topic.
it's 4 minutes past the hour. We're gonna try to get out of here real soon. But listen,
I got to
at the
get
end,
out about 10.
and speaking of which, we're gonna try to wrap this up. I see some folks, they do gotta go. So let's just say this. They always call us sperm donors. Well, guess what? Y'all egg incubators. And I'm not gonna call y'all that, but if you're gonna call me a sperm donor, I can't be a sperm donor just like you can't be an egg incubator. If the child was made in love, and guess what? All children aren't made in love.
Sure
Unfortunately,
enough, not.
there are some violent, crazy acts that produce children, but most children are made in love. Remember the love y'all were making when you made the child, and understand this. I'm pretty sure most of y'all, some of y'all may have, but most of y'all were not cussing each other out, calling y'all all kind of names when y'all were
You're
making
trying
the
to
child.
get some. That's why. That's why. A lot of times these kids ain't made out of love. They're made out of love making, but they ain't made out of love.
They made
Well,
out
You're
of love.
trying to get
A
some,
lot
and
of
you
kids
put
made
on
out of love.
whatever act that you got to become, whatever actor or actress you got to become to get what you want at the moment. We live in the moment. Don't plan for tomorrow.
Well,
That's
Biggest
the
problem
problem.
ever.
let me say this
Biggest
as we
problem
get ready to
ever.
close out. As we get ready to
Mhm.
close out with 5 minutes after. Brothers and sisters, please, please, please. And this is just Joe. This ain't Bible, but it is in the Bible. Y'all need to start weighing the cost of a thing before y'all do a thing. Because guess what? Not weighing that cost can cost you for life. With
That's
that being
right.
said, Sean P., we're gonna start with you, man. Close us out, brother.
Yes, sir, man. The Sean P Experience on YouTube. Check out my show from yesterday. I had a brother, the Meta Catalyst out of Dallas, Texas, 25-year-old young brother. He's a political correspondent. He always in Congress. He always in different legislatures, meetings. He's breaking down politics in a way that anybody can get it. The everyday layperson. It's an amazing episode. Full thing on YouTube right now. The Sean P Experience. Love y'all, man. Peace.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's now go to Brother Bowtie. Brother Bowtie, hit me up, man.
What it is, what it ain't, and what we gonna do about it. Let's talk about it. Let's do something about it. Hey, Joe, and everybody else. I really don't have no positive message, but I have a message that's worthwhile. Today, I mean, this month is August, so most people don't know this, but August is Black Business Month. So I need you guys to find a black business and support it every week. Find 2 or 3 and support it. Even if it's a hustle, if it's not a legit business, if there's a black person, a black kid on the corner selling water, selling peanuts, selling candy, support a black business, support entrepreneurship, support us. You guys have a nice day. If you wish to follow me and support me, follow me at Bowtie Untie. You wish to support my business, go to www.brothersbowties.com and you can purchase this ostrich bow tie.
Oh,
It looked good,
nice.
brother. It looked good. Let's go to Sister Alethea Crimmins, who is pimping positivity. You know her from our very own podcast, In the Passion to See. Alethea, give it to me, baby.
Yes, go out there, be great in their face. Do not let anybody steal your joy on today. Be intentional about the day that you want to have. And as always, y'all have a good day on purpose. You're welcome.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go to the other lovely lady we have in Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. My girl, Jax. Come on, Jax. Give it to
Yes,
me
y'all.
now.
Love the life you live the life you love. If nobody told you they love you today, who loves you? Who loves you, y'all? You know, your girl Jax. Jax loves you. Be safe, be blessed, have a phenomenal weekend. If you honor the Sabbath and do it with joy and gladness, and be blessed. May your reality surpass your dreams. Until next week, peace out.
That's what I'm talking about. The esteemed alumnus, thank you for being here, brother, for team. I love you in that Pittsburgh gear, man.
Told you.
On the baseball side, I really love that. You know, I'm a big Pittsburgh guy all the way around, baseball, football, everything Pittsburgh. But man, we have appreciated you being here for this week, man. Much love to you, man. We're gonna let you have your closing words. 9 minutes past the hour. I know you got to get out real quick, but man, go ahead and close us out, man. And thank you again for gracing us this week, brother.
I'm going to address that real quick, but let me just say this here and a little preparedness here. What a week this has been. We've laughed. We reflected. spoke truth, everybody, dropped gems and shared some real moments with each other. It felt good. It felt great, not good. It felt great to be back on the mic with the team, reconnected with the fam, stirring minds and souls. As always, remember this, the truth don't need help to stand. It just needs a voice. So stay rooted, stay real, and keep walking in purpose. And I'll catch you soon. And let me just say thank you for the invite, Joe. Joe reached out to me. Well, I reached out to Joe on something. Joe reached back out to me, and the conversation started. And he was like, hey, Fatin, you know, if you're available, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, the first weekend of the month of August, I would be available. And it's been a blessing to be here. So again, Joe, thank you for the invite. Sister Jax, we go back, and it's good to be and to reconnect. We haven't spoken as much as we have in the past, but my love is still there for you and all the things that you and your family is doing. Sister Alethea, we met here, and you just did a tremendous job at Essence, and a tremendous job with pumping positivity. Brother Bowtie, I'm a brother. You know, sometimes we may disagree, but the respect I have for who you are, the man that you have become. I love you, brother. I love you. I love all of you. And Joe, continue doing what you do best, man. Trying to be better today than you was yesterday. So thank you all, and I'll see y'all next time.
All right, family, listen. This week was a microcosm of something that could be much greater. And that is understanding that no man or woman controls time. And too many times, the two things I think we don't have enough respect for, or even enough in us to process, is how precious time in life is. So with that being said, 11 minutes past the hour. If right now there's something in your spirit tugging on you to call somebody and say whatever it is you need to say, be it that you apologize, be it that you need to cuss them out, be it that whatever you need to do, be it that you need to say, listen, maybe I saw this thing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Guess one thing you ain't got. You ain't got control over the next moment. You don't know when your expiration date gonna be. And you don't know when, no matter how good looking you are, how much money you got, who you know, where you been, or what you can say. You don't know when the battery that runs your system says that I can't run it no more. And you transition to the other side. That being said, you need to treat and speak life in every moment of your life. We only die once. We live every day. Start living and live it to the full. Be better today than you were yesterday. And do something today to bless somebody somewhere, some way, somehow, that even if they wanted to pay you back, there's no earthly way they could pay you back, because the truth about the matter is you released it, and you released it not expecting anything back. And always remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do. But when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. Y'all have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Lord say the same. We'll be back Monday with more hashtag Truth Be Told JD Live. Y'all be blessed. We up out of here. Peace.